Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge
Pledge
allegiance.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes weren't distributed. Our clerk, she was out with COVID, and she decided that she couldn't work while she was very ill. So
I didn't decide. You're making it sound like I didn't want to work.
I'm kidding. So we'll have them at the next meeting. Citizens' comments. Are there any citizens that would like to speak tonight regarding any issues? Yes, sir, Mr. Dinsmore.
Gene Dinsmore, 7493.
I can't hear you, Gene, for real. Can you speak up a
I
little?
just want to congratulate you for actually talking about the real problems that we got and then spending some money to fix them. I mean, the previous boards who sat up there and collected the same money didn't do anything. That's why you're in the fix that you're in. So I got to congratulate you for taking the giant steps that you need to take to get the town where it needs to be. But don't be afraid to take a few more of them because you're still not anywhere near where it needs to go to make it into a modern town. But I thank you for taking it as far as you have.
It's always nice to get some positive comments. Appreciate that. Anybody else? No? Town board comments. We'll start with you tonight, Mr. Rowe.
I hope everybody's doing well. Made it through the big winter storm. Some of us not in this area got a lot more snow, so I hope everybody's got their power back on and everybody's safe. And I do want to ask Councilor Moore, did you get your shovel out or you didn't have to? You were okay?
No, sir, I did not.
I was nervous for you.
St. Patrick's Day goes away.
That's all for me. Thank you.
I don't have much today. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank everyone for watching on PAC-B. I'll stick to the agenda.
Likewise, I will stick to the agenda.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to stick to the agenda as well.
Well, okay, it's up to me. I do have a few things to talk about tonight, and they all go back to the assessments. And I wasn't here at our last meeting, but I know our town assessor was here, and it's my understanding the presentation she gave was very good. And we were trying to get as much information about assessments as we can so people can understand them more, to understand really where they, how we arrive at what we arrive and why. But if you didn't see the Sunday paper, on the front page, these are a few Lysander residents, one Lysander, or two Lysander, and one Van Buren. And I'm just going to read a couple things out of this article, but if you get a chance, it's very well done, and it does give a good explanation of how the assessments are arrived at and why towns do what they do. It was a very well written article by Tim Noss, and you can get it on Syracuse.com if you don't have the Sunday paper. But I just highlighted a couple of things, and the median home price jumped 15.9% in the year ending June 2021. That was for all of Onondaga County, and the town of Lysander, it was about a 19% increase. The average house spent just 3 weeks on the market and sold for 3% above market price. So that's the average house spent 3 weeks on the rolls and sold for 3% over what the asking price is. And the asking price, people are putting it at the top of the market, what they believe is the market, and they're still getting 3% over that. Teresa Golden, and I'm quoting out of the paper, the assessor for Lysander and Van Buren, sent out notices early to allow several weeks for informal consultations with hundreds of homeowners. She's been meeting with people nonstop every 15 minutes by phone or in person, and she has. I've seen it. I can't even really get in to talk to her. She's been here and in Van Buren, who we share with, And she's doing these informal consultations, and these are something that not every town does. All but 9 of more than 12,000 residential properties in Lysander and Van Buren got assessment increases. Most were right around 14%. And like I told you, in Lysander, they were 19% was the average increase. Although some of the rural properties on other typical parcels varied, the rest of it was 14%. So most of people's slice of the tax pie should remain roughly the same. If you have 100% assessment and everybody goes up the same 14%, then you're still paying the same percentage. It's spread out evenly amongst everybody. Unlike most states, New York does not insist on municipalities reassessing every property periodically. So other states make it mandatory to do that, but New York State, for whatever reason, they don't. Some municipalities take the standpoint, well, this is a very bad year to do so, talking about reassessing. It's politically bad. You know, it's a political suicide, Wheeler said, and he's the executive director of the New York State Assessors Association. Now, this is quoting from John Yinger he's a professor of public administration and even economics at Syracuse University Maxwell School. And if you don't know, Syracuse University Maxwell School, which Mr. Gerasi is a graduate of, and so is our town clerk, Ms. Falcone, the #1 in the world. So political suicide or not, keeping assessments at 100% of market value is the right way to go, said Mr. Yinger. So here's somebody that doesn't have any skin in the game, but he's saying, and he's an expert in the field, and he's saying 100% of market value is the way to go for towns. He also goes on to say that a fair property tax system requires 100% assessment. That's a fair property tax assessment. Many states require it. New York obviously does not. Assessors who aim for 100% are doing the right thing, according to this expert. Going into the year, 8 Onondaga County towns out of the 19 towns kept assessments at 100% market value. So that means the other 11% are not. So that's why I pointed this article out. What I know, our town assessor, Teresa Golden, takes a lot of heat over what she's doing. But the fairest way to do it, and that's not just us, but the fairest way to do it, according to the experts, is 100% assessment, which is what we do. And just like she and I have told people that have come in complaining about their assessments, saying our taxes are going up. So I took an example of one individual that came in and complained about the assessments. And I took, since I've been on the board, so I just want to use, since I've been on here, I want to look at other people's, what they've done, because I don't know why they did what they did. So we'll just use what I've done since, not what we have done since I've been on the board. In the last 2 years, we've had a decrease of $194,000 in our tax levy, which means the amount that the town taxes individuals. So here's a house that was, when 2 years ago, was assessed at $185,000. Now it's assessed at $215,000, which means their property value went up $20,000. So if their assessed value went up $20,000, what people think, well, then our taxes should go up. Well, their town taxes went down by 12% in those 2-year time frame. Now I'll go to the village tax. In that same year, 2-year, the village increased their taxes by $132,000. So that same house, valued at $20,000 more, is actually paying 10% more in their tax, which amounted to $151. The school, during that same time frame, they increased, their 2-year increase was $2,491,000, which was a 9% increase, which cost this homeowner $429 more. So, what do we get from that? It's not about the assessed value, it's about budgets. It's about how much you are being taxed by these different municipalities. We lowered that tax burden on people during that 2-year period. Now, I'm not saying that the school district or the village didn't need to raise the taxes. I'm not talking about, I'm just saying that they did during that same time frame, but it isn't necessarily based on assessments. Why are you paying more taxes? It's based on budgets. Our budgets went down, their budgets went up. That's why you pay more taxes. Okay. Now, tomorrow and Saturday is Earth Day. The Anheuser-Busch is putting together some employees and some employees of the town, and I believe the Rotary is going to be there as well. From 2 to 5, people are going to meet at the front of Anheuser-Busch. They're going to provide gloves and bags, and at the end of it, they're going to have provide some of their products, which I think I'm going to partake in some of those.
When's this, tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 2 to 5. So we're going to meet at the front near the front parking lot near their credit union. Then we're going to go on Brundage Road and clean Brundage Road. I know that's a big issue with a lot of people. Now, we've been working on that. I've been working with the administration from Anheuser-Busch on coming up with a solution for that. Unfortunately for us at the town and the residents, they have a change of administration from the general management. The general manager that I was working with, he left, took another position, so they have a new general manager. But I've been speaking with other people from in their management, and one of the things that I know they were working on before, and they're close to getting a resolution, is to have a staging area for their trucks so they don't have to stage on Brundage Road. They're close to signing a contract for that, as well as they're placing new scales in their areas so that people coming in will be able to get in more quickly. And then also on top of that, they're talking about having some dumpsters over in the staging area and where they're going to have it, and that would be for people that could clean out their trucks. So hopefully, shortly, we will have that somewhat taken care of. Now, I would have to say 80% of the problem on Brundage Road is coming from people that are making deliveries at the plant. But there's another 20% that is just people that are slobs. That's the bottom line. They're just slobs, and they're coming in, they're dumping out their car tires, their old mattresses, chairs and things like that. Well, that's not coming out of the people making deliveries there. So there's other people that are doing that on that road as well. And it's just, what the resolution to that is, I don't know, because you can go down 690 and you'll see trash thrown out on it, and old couches and things like that, because people are too lazy or too cheap to go to the dump like every other normal citizen does. But just so people know, we are working on it. We're close to coming up with a resolution, and I think that once they get everything in place with their contracts and the staging area, that should take care of a majority of the problems that are going on Brundage Road. But we also have problems on Loop Road. We got problems on Loop Road and on Smoky Hollow Road. And why do we have problems there? Because there's no houses and people aren't going down those roads. But that's not all the people making deliveries to the plant. It's other people. So if you see people doing that, try to take their plates down or make a phone call to the police and let them know. And we're gonna keep working on this end to try and keep our town clean like it should be. That's all I have. Department heads, Mr. Rivazino. Mr. Mayor.
I'm good.
Mr. Sweethead.
Yes, two things. Paving season is upon us. They're slated to start next Monday and Tuesday, milling and paving, and there is a list of streets being done on the website. And also this year, we are hand delivering in advance notices to the people on the streets that are affected. So check the list if you're not sure you're on it. And if you have gotten a flyer in your door, then you certainly are. From start to end, we're hoping to have the paving done by mid-May, and then the chip sealing at the end, so it'll all be over by June, weather permitting, and all the other things that happen around here. Earth Day, I would like to thank everybody who's gonna be out cleaning. Please be very safe. The shoulder of the road is a dangerous place to be at. And along with that, we will not be going through the town picking up bags. So any trash that's collected needs to be brought to the actual DPW building, which is 2730 West Entry Road. We'll have a person there to take it from you, put the sticker on it so that it goes to the dump in the right area and the right time. And other than that, that's about it.
We good for the bucket tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Steve?
Nothing to see.
Svelko?
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay. That was awful fast. I had to read your lips, but I can't. All
I'm
right.
smiling, but you can't tell.
Okay. Move on to regular agenda items. May I have a motion to establish a fence permit fee in the amount of $75?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to approve the Lysander Highway Department flagger training policy as presented by the Highway Superintendent, Ken Sweetek.
Move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the Chase Cemetery mowing and trimming contract with AML Property Maintenance in the amount of $595 per month.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
The only question I had, I think you put this together, right?
Yeah, I'll put it
Oh,
together.
how's that price look from compared to last year? It's up, right?
$90, 90.
505 last year?
Yeah,
right?
505.
$90.
Yeah, it's up $90.
And we did 13 miles last year.
Were there any other bids or no?
We have a list that we sent out to, and I didn't get a response back from anybody.
Not surprising.
Quite frankly, once people do it for a year, they don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's hard to get around the
It's
stones.
it's a tough cemetery.
Yeah.
They did that for years at Woodlawn Cemetery, so I know what they feel in the older sections.
You should do Chase then next year.
Oh, my legs are past that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to refer the 2846 Belgium Road T-Mobile cell tower special use permit variance request to the zoning board of appeals for review.
I'll move it.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the expenditure of up to $266,000 of ARPA funding for the athletic field expansion project at the Lysander Town Park.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Sir Merrill, why don't you and Mr. Yeager just give the audience a little brief synopsis of what that money is going to be going.
So that's, I'll speak broadly and then I'll let Al speak real details, but it is for the development of what was the Nosewitz property, adjacent to the park entrance on Smoky Hollow. So their property is being developed into athletic fields. So that's kind of the broad explanation. The athletic fields, the additional athletic fields will allow us to compensate more of the needs of BISA, which is Baldwinsville Youth Soccer, BYL, Baldwinsville Youth Lacrosse, Pop Warner, and any other local, whether it be for-profit, non-profit sports organizations, as well as park use.
And they do charge, we charge
For
these-
reserve, yes,
Yeah. I just want the public to know that this
Yep.
isn't a free use.
no.
Well,
The park property is free to use. We charge, if an organization or if an individual wants to come in, if you want to reserve it for guaranteed use, that's what you pay for. You pay for the right to reserve it and the right to use it and on those days and times. Otherwise, it is free use.
Anybody can.
Yep. Yep, and that basically becomes a first come, first served basis.
Sure, I just want the public to
Yep.
understand that
Absolutely.
these organizations, even though they're all centered here in Baldwinsville,
Yep.
they're paying for the use of the fields. It's not
They are
just-
paying for that guaranteed use
Times.
on those dates and times where they need to schedule games, practices. Yes.
And for the benefit of the public, Kevin and/or Al, what our timeframe, these fields will be usable when?
So usable for play, probably fall earliest. The goal is to have them seeded and be green by the end of June. Like to get a pretty good established standard turf on them before they're used for sports. Probably be looking to overseed these, just broadcast seed them in the fall to try to thicken up the standard grass. Realistically, probably looking at next spring for full use. So.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion. May I have a motion to declare the following items in the Highway Department surplus? Tag number 0065, it's a table, 01244 HP Pro 8610 printer, 01115 Dell flat panel display monitor, 01218 Acer Veritron desktop computer, multicolor, and a multicolored couch. Probably. Sure we can't get something for that multicolored couch?
It's a mouse only, so.
If we put it on Facebook, we can put it as vintage and probably draw some.
House pets included.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
You first did that one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, I don't think there's any reason for an executive session tonight. And a motion to adjourn at 7:24.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.